1,209 days since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. And I am going on, see if I can lift this up a little. Okay, let's go on Facebook because we know that we have to do this every day because Richard just didn't vanish. Something absolutely horrible, absolutely devious, absolutely. It's all about deception. It's all about just major crimes. A code red making a volunteer uh, son of this republic to suffer, to join the military, to aspire to be a distinguished honor graduate, to be the distinguished honor graduate for his cycle and basic training, and also for his cycle and advanced individual training, and to aspire and try really hard and land in a criminal sewer. I mean, Fort Bliss is like one big criminal sewer. And to have that slapped on you, the pollution of it, to slap it on our volunteer sons and daughters and have them get raped and have them get sexually harassed and have them be offered all kinds of drugs and have to live in a marketplace for illegal drugs, which is a barracks, have to live in a place that is flush with weapons, most of them unregistered weapons, have to live in a place where they bring 14-year-old girls to live and be prostituted out. That's the barracks. To live where the command sergeant major and Major General Clem Coward brings in girls with Thomas Kane, the director of emergency services, who's in charge of giving these passes, gave special passes to these party girls during the COVID lockdown to come in there. And then we hear from soldiers, they stay drunk all the time. It's a frat party every day. To land in there and then expect that the rest of it is on the up and up. If the barracks aren't on the up and up, if the barracks are one big sewer to live in, then what is going on in the arms room? What is going on with our weapons, with our ammunition, with our equipment? What is going on at the emergency intake center? Why is there 85,000 missing minors? I was told today, oh, they were never there. They were never there. The names are in Mexico. Okay, so what happened? They brought them over and released them again, and who got the monies, right? But I don't, I would like to know what happened to these unaccounted for minors and what happened to the monies, the accounting, because don't tell me that we have an up and up accounting system, that we're not being embezzled as Americans, that there's not fraud, waste, and abuse. And in this case, we see a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse. Uh, it's enormous. So, because we have seen, and I'm just checking to make sure I'm on. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Mitzi. Thank you, Danielle, for coming on. Um, so, don't tell me that they're not taking advantage of the American people in so many different ways that we don't even know. And now we have found out about uh, the 3905 Bliss Avenue, 3705 Bliss Avenue, um, seemingly, apparently, being owned by William Beaumont Army Medical Center as an annex. Why? They give life leases to the families there. Who are the families? The families are Tanya Katzen, Danae Katzen, Eddie Rocha, Lydia Rocha, Belen Rocha's parents, And this is with Van Buren Avenue. This is a connection also. And with this connection comes a connection to funeral affairs, mortuary affairs, and I guess seemingly it looks like it that there is a contract. There's uh, contracting out for them to do some kind of mortuary affairs duties. Um, and go look that up. Go look that up. It is, the last few days have been absolutely horrifying to think about all that. And, where is the media? That was our attention. Where is the media to help us, right, with this oversight of what is going on Fort Bliss and in El Paso? Because the sewage is overflowing into El Paso from Fort Bliss and into the surrounding area and down into Juarez, Mexico. I mean, it's very clear that we have so many shootings and violence over there in Juarez, Mexico, because we are bringing them weapons, right? We're bringing them ammunition, and these are unregistered or they've been tampered with, because we know that there is a gunsmith involved in this case. And we also have allegedly those that already have been arrested for weapon smuggling. And we have those tactical move storage units that they can move lots of things, lots of equipment, lots of weapons, lots of ammunition, lots of hand grenades, right? We have been given a report that grenades were missing. Um, and that the books were cooked. They were profiting off of the American taxpayer. And where did this money go? Why don't they look at the books? And so we decided that we wanted to look at the books. We absolutely have the right to ask about where is our son? Who are these people that are involved? Danae Katzen came to us, right? She came to us and, to ask about how did she end up on the El Paso, I think it's the sheriff's department, 10 most wanted fugitive list, right? And then online to see her be called out for all of her wrongdoings to other people. She clearly doesn't want to make this world a better place. She wants to con people. She wants to make life miserable for people. And she is a close associate, a friend, LDS friend of Leilani Hart. So they're in the same, spirit of, let's harass people, let's create chaos, let's create crime wherever we go. Let's just make the world a worse place, than we find it. Let's do as much damage as we can. That seems to be their motto, and it hurts so many people, and so that makes it illegal. It makes it illegal, and there needs to be arrests being made. And I've been hearing that tick, 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 the time has run out for Leilani Hart, because she is being called by by government agency. What did they say? That she was um, dreaming up crazy. What was a real word? Let me see if I can um, read it in my notes. Yeah. Okay, so they believe she had mental illness, she was delusional, that she was absolutely, this is government officials here. Let me make sure I read this right. Um, that they were investigating her that her lies are catching up, that she's delusional. This is assault, assault with a deadly weapon. Wow, filing false claims. And yeah, and that when she gets caught, she goes, "Oh, you're a racist. You don't like islanders." Let me tell you what, Americans love islanders. We absolutely love islanders. That's why they make a movie out of it. That's why Elvis Presley went to Hawaii. Uh, you can tell my age. You can tell, we love islanders. Um, no, it's just that we don't like criminals. We don't like convicted criminals that want to make El Paso, and even just bring in all kinds of problems and hurt people. We don't want that. And it seems like Danae Katzen and Leilani Hart, and we know that Danae Katzen's mother, Tanya Katzen, absolutely is involved in connection with Richard's case. We know that. We know that Eddie Rocha is connected to Richard's case, and Leilani Hart connected to Richard's case, and Lydia Rocha connected to Richard's case. And these are all connected by 3905 Bliss Avenue, 3705 Bliss Avenue. That address really shed a light of what's going on because Felix Valenzuela, the attorney there in El Paso, and not just any attorney, he's a big attorney. He's a big attorney. He was the uh, defense attorney for Patrick Crusius in the Walmart case. Patrick Crusius is uh, uh, how do I describe him? A young man that shot at people in Walmart in 2019. And, in that, on that day, 23 people were killed, many were injured, and Felix Valenzuela is a defense attorney for Patrick Crusius. And we have known that um, he seems to apparently represent those in Richard's case. Also, like Leilani Hart, like Danae Katzen, like those that are connected to 3905 Bliss Avenue, that he has an affiliation, seemingly, apparently, with 3905 Bliss Avenue and 3705 Bliss Avenue. And so here is this uh, defense attorney. I'm doing this as best as I can because, you know, uh, when you know that something stinks this bad, you shake. You shake. Especially when you know that your son has been code red and murdered, and treated so just brutally, brutally. But anyway, back to Felix Valenzuela, the defense attorney, that, there is this connection. It's a connection with the Walmart case and with our son's case. And so and we've known this for a while, we've been looking into it, and we have uh, tried to get open records and information about these connections that we're concerned about the two cases. Um, so one of the things that we did, Team Farm Richard Halliday, was to submit an open records request with Amy Schnotty, I hope I'm saying her name right, um, with the office of the governor of Texas, uh, Governor Abbott. And we wanted our open records request is for both cases. We want to know how much money was spent, of course, because lots of money went to the defense of Patrick Crusius. How much money went to the defense of Patrick Crusius, which means how much money went to Felix Valenzuela, okay? And how much went to Richard's case and to the defense of anybody in Richard's case, that we have not been told that there has been a hush, that there has been, um, what do you call that when a judge closes down a case? Just makes it shh, shh. It's a shh, right? And this is one way that we could discover legally what is going on in our son's case. And, you know, um, under the guise of the Walmart case, what's going on in Richard's case. And we did get some tips, and the tips were that the approximate funding, we're getting conservatively $9 million. I put it up $6 to $9 million conservatively, and we're getting with the whole Mexico, because this is, our son's case is international, right? It absolutely has to do with um, Mexico, and it absolutely has to do with Sarasota Sheriff's Department, because this is not just Richard's case. This is our case too. Our civil rights, just by trying to find out where our son is, our rights have been violated, extremely violated, by a fake, absolutely fake, without a warrant, um, fugitive apprehension search on our house. These are an assault unit. They are in full battle gear. They have their weapons. They come around the back of your house. They kind of sneak up to you. They don't give you a heads up that they're coming out. And you know, this was without a warrant on our property, in our house, and we were compliant. We were cooperative to the unit, right? We have nothing to hide. And but it still was illegal. It still was a violation of our rights. And what they do is they take advantage of our ignorance, they take advantage of our good nature, they take advantage of our um, absolute, uh, I think, the family emergency. I guess that's a good way to say it. When you're in distress because you're in a family emergency, they take advantage of that. And that's exactly what happened with the Sarasota Sheriff's Department, and who gave that order and who gave them were uh, thinking they got like $175,000. I think that's uh, what they got for doing that. Maybe that's a little much. Maybe that's too little. Um, that they got a lot of money for pulling off that stunt, and it was a stunt just like the stunt of the task force. Find Richard Halliday without wearing a uniform, without having op board, and so I could go on that tangent. And I have plenty of live streams talking about the stage Task Force Find Richard Halliday, with Donna Martin there and Sean Bernabe and under General McConville, and that discussion. And, where was General Garrett? I mean, everyone goes, well, have you forgotten about General Garrett? No, but, he just offered some prayers and thoughts. Um, and he didn't offer his duty. He didn't offer his duty. to care for his soldier. That is very clear. And so, um, with a leader like that, who, we never can expect to win anything, any war, and progress our country. It's just no way, not with a leader like General Garrett. And we've given him everything. He needs to give it back. He needs to give it back, um, what we have given him, because he has breached the agreement, right? He's supposed to be a general, but he's no general. Um, so we have some huge breaking news, absolutely huge breaking news, and it has to do with the Walmart case. The Walmart case, we have gotten information. We received um, information today from AG Paxton's office, Ken Paxton's office today, and yeah, well, it's 6 pages long, and lots of legal. So we need to go through it with um, like 3 or 4 or 5 times, right? Because we are our own legal, we are our own media, we are our own investigators, and on and on. So yeah, we'll get back to you on everything that said. But something is very clear, that breaking news, it seems to be that the El Paso Walmart mass shooting, mass killing case um, is apparently going to be reinvestigated. It's apparently being reinvestigated, and because of the judges. That is what we have been notified with, that the judges are under scrutiny in the Walmart case. Now, remember that we asked for an open records case of the monies that were being spent in this case and in our son's case. And so I don't know if we had anything to do with this reinvestigation. I don't know. I hope so. I hope we played a little part in shining the light on some criminal activities, clearly criminal activities going on there in El Paso. And so, what we're being told is that uh, Judge Tryon Lewis, I hope I say his name right, the allegations against him are that he worked really hard to compel the removal of the district attorney Yvonne Rosales, who was elected to that position, and they didn't want her there. And I'm curious, why didn't they want her there? Because I'm just I'm just curious why Bill Hicks has not done his job in our son's case. And I'm just wondering, because of this apparent really evil crimes. I mean, if we're talking about trafficking body parts, if we're talking about weapon smuggling, if we're talking about trafficking children and creating child porn, which is child torture, if we are talking about the emergency intake center, 85,000 unaccounted for minors, and if Yvonne Rosales, the district attorney, was looking into that and looking into our son's case, but they did not want it because, they're up to no good. And I'm not saying that Judge Tyron Lewis, is up to no good. I'm saying that his allegations are that he compelled the removal of the DA, Yvonne Rosales, who was elected. Why? That just doesn't happen. I mean, look at what's going on right now in D.C. So something is fishy. That's all I have to say. Something is very fishy. And the next judge is Judge Sid Harla. I hope I'm saying his name right. And the reports are the allegations against him is that he refused to hear and take action on the reported wrongdoings related to the case, right? That he did nothing. So, I don't know, but it takes those that do nothing to make bad things happen, right? Um, and I could name lots. In this case, like Major General Eisenhower, James Eisenhower, just doing nothing. I mean, the soldiers, I was informed that they don't even know his name because he's a do nothing general. All he's doing is biding his time, and someone is telling him to do nothing, and I think that someone, and this is just me guessing, is Lieutenant General Sean Bernabe. I'm guessing that he's telling him, do not do anything. Let Bliss be a cesspool. Let the let all the crime continue and all the harm to our service members continue, because it looks like that. The indications are that that is exactly what Major General James Eisenhower is doing. He's letting Bliss continue to be a cesspool, and that's why we had the colonel, um, not too many months ago, do a 100% health and welfare after I think it was 3 people got shot. Uh, and what did they find? Weapons, loads of weapons. And were they registered? No. So, and of course, bullets and things like that. Um, yeah, I don't know what Major General Eisenhower really is doing, but it looks like to me he's doing nothing. And that's what, maybe he's relative to Judge Sid Harla, because they're, just do nothing. Um, and I don't want to, I'm not saying that he did nothing. I'm saying that the allegations are that he did nothing. But I am saying that Major General Eisenhower doesn't seem to be doing anything. Okay, he doesn't seem to be doing anything um, to have any kind of goodness on Fort Bliss when it comes to Richard's case at all, for sure. And then the next judge is Judge Samuel Medrano Jr. Samuel Medrano Jr. Um, and what a good name. That's a good name. Samuel is a good name. My grandson, my son-in-law, named Samuel. That's a good name. But seemingly, he's not holding on to that name in a good way at all, right? He's kind of dirtying his good name. And there are claims that this judge has abused his power with the media. Oh my gosh, that leads me to a topic I want to talk about. But with the media, to unjustly attack the DA, District Attorney Yvonne Rosales. And because they have to, and this is what I've been trying to tell the public, is that your knowledge in what's going on in Richard's case is absolutely crucial to us getting justice in Richard's for Richard, right? You are the crucial element. And Judge Samuel Medrano Jr. knew that too. And so, uh, seemingly he acted by abusing his power or manipulating his power. It's gray area to get the media in there. That is just not a normal thing to do. And to use his connections with the media to unjustly attack the district attorney Yvonne Rosales. Why? Why were they one? Why were they retaliating against her? What was she doing? Okay, that is my question. Because anybody that's attacking um, somebody right now, I just don't buy the narrative. And so this raises concerns about all those legal proceedings and the Walmart case, and you know uh, what triggered this. Um, I'm hoping that we played a part in that by having our open records for the monies to get that transparency out there to the public. And as soon as I get it, they rather break the law than give us. They're very afraid of the public. And so anyone can do this. It's not just us. So you can write um, Miss Amy Schnotty and request an open records for the monies, the funding, the accounting that you pay for as taxpayers for the Patrick Crucius case, the Walmart case, and also for the Richard Halliday case. You can do that just like we do. And I would suggest that you do that because it is crucial that we have this transparency because there is so much corruption today. So, they're just not used to people wanting to see the accounting. Um, and, in our case, because of Felix Valenzuela being part, being the defense attorney for both the Patrick Crucius case and seemingly for the Richard Halliday case, we wanted to verify that, and that was the way that we can verify it. So, we will let you know more as we get more information in. But I think that is huge, huge news. Um, Huge news. And we did get a confirmation today, very good news, that um, uh, Dirty Marlon Soto is being investigated. And we've had that for a while, but we've had, this is an even more, even more. So that is really uh, shows institutional support because of you. All right. If no one ever watched this, if no one ever commented, if, you know, if I never got on here and talked day in and day out about what happened to my son, um, none of this would happen. We would not have justice in this land. So it is so crucial for us to work together as concerned citizens and, ask for the accounting, ask for the oversight, ask for the investigations, and peacefully, you know, we don't want this to become a war. We don't want them to come after us because they get so much power and it turns into a war. We want to do this. I mean, I think we barely, barely can do it now. This has taken over 3 years, and it's. But I'm very hopeful. Even as hard as this week has been, my legs just keep falling from underneath me because of thinking about the mortuary affairs and what they do, because I don't think they honor with integrity the remains of our veterans, of our, um, and the 85,000 missing. Uh, I don't know. It's just so hard to think about what they do. And absolutely, if they are going to harass us for 3 months, harass me for 3 months with the most despicable, vile, vulgar comments. I mean, to a mother of the Vanessa Guillen first absent soldier. And, I know that I can't put anything past them. You know, they're just capable of the worst things. So yeah, that so I'll absolutely get back to you on that. Now we know that Natasia Paloma, I've met her several times. She when I was there in El Paso and she covered the story, she absolutely knows the story. I spent lots of time, Rob and I, lots of time speaking with her, and she absolutely met Danae. We met Danae at KTSM. We spent a whole afternoon. She spent loads of time with Danae and with us at Team Find Richard Halliday. It was more than just me. And she absolutely heard everything that Danae said. I don't, the coverage of that was interesting, um, but she never followed up. She never followed up with Danae when Danae got called out, and she still gets called out on online for her con artist schemes and just her criminal record, also for giving a false witness in our son's case and being on the El Paso 10 most wanted fugitive list. And that just seems pretty strange to us. And now she's leaving. So, yeah, maybe she will, get into a position where she could tell us more. Because I know she's not like a Angela Kachurga. She doesn't have that kind of power that Angela Kachurga has or Bob Moore. Um, so I don't know. But I do feel like she should have covered the story and at least undo the false narrative of the false witness statement that Danae Katzen gave her and gave all of us, but she didn't. She didn't, and that's really sad. Um, so I have here the unraveling collaboration, media control in Richard Halliday's case. Um, so there are very clear signs. It's called circumstantial evidence, irregularities, hard evidence that Felix Valenzuela, Angela Kachurga, Bob Moore, Natasia Paloma, Danae Katzen, and Leilani Hart. And I really want to focus on Felix Valenzuela, Angela Kachurga, Bob Moore, Danae Katzen, and Leilani Hart. Specifically, Leilani Hart, who is the mother of Dallas Hart, Richard's platoon leader. Richard's platoon leader. I think that I am just absolutely confident now in saying that. And specifically concerning the Code Red murder of our son, that is what Leilani Hart has revealed, that Richard was a Code Red. Um, so what has Felix Valenzuela, Angela Kachurga, Bob Moore? Bob Moore owns El Paso Matters. And the reason why I know this is because we are in the process of, asking questions and, putting in complaints and that because El Paso Matters with KTEP um, participated in a story that interfered with our son's case in an extreme way. And it has prevented us from getting a lot of information. And, it was a retaliatory story. And I'm telling you this, reading about the Patrick Crucius story, I can tell you that the media is up to no good, y'all. Because what do they say about Patrick Crucius? That he is a racist, they just want to stoke hate. That's what this media. I'm just telling you, it's just so nonsense what they say, and I don't, I just don't believe what they say. I just absolutely don't believe what they say. And Bob Moore owns Media Matters, and Media Matters, KTEP is like PBS, and they get special funding. They get tax breaks, they get tax free status, and they're supposed to be neutral. And yet they're not neutral. And we believe that they collaborated together. Felix Valenzuela, Angela Kachurga, Bob Moore, and Leilani Hart, um, possibly Danae Katzen, but absolutely Felix Valenzuela, Angela Kachurga, Bob Moore, Leilani Hart, with David Pochet, right? Um, and, you know, it's very clear that they neglected uh, their principles of journalism. And, they have no integrity because they're taking American taxpayers' money. They're supposed to be neutral, and yet they are interfering in the case of the Vanessa Guillen first absent soldier with an unreliable source, Leilani Hart, that is going behind the scenes and creating all kinds of misinformation in this case. Absolutely, there's not a doubt in my mind. I absolutely experienced it and saw it. So, Leilani Hart's history also confirms that she acts to harass. She acts to harass, and she's a convicted criminal. And it doesn't paint a pretty picture. So, you have to remember she failed to report child sexual abuse, incest, illegal child pornography, which is child torture. She failed to, uh, you know, well, she did in her confession, that was confirmed by the notary on July 22nd, 2020, about her husband having unregistered weapons, right? Uh, but, you know, she needed to uh, report the continuous years and years of child sexual abuse and incest and the illegal child pornography that was continuously in her home. And remember that Dallas Hart, her son, Richard's platoon leader, um, who just had his teeth done, he had his teeth done recently, um, but that he was running to the house to, get the child porn. Get the child porn. I'm searching for the child porn. So make sure there was nothing left behind. I guess I don't know. He would have to clarify why he was looking for child porn, right? So, but Leilani Hart also is a person of interest in our son's Code Red murder. And, a year before, uh, Angela Kachurga with Bob Moore, with Felix Valenzuela and Leilani Hart, interfered before they collaborated, before they interfered, before they really what they've done is obstructed justice in our son's case. Before they did that, the officer of the court, a key witness in in this case, in his official office, submitted a complaint about Leilani Hart, and of course Tavita Nusa also, who is her boyfriend, CID special agent, former, um, and the officer of the court submitted a complaint to the FBI and Fort Bliss CID and many others, accusing Leilani Hart of tampering and interference with our son's case, with our son's investigation. And, so, he put that in. They put Richard's case in cold case. We started asking more and more questions. Um, we caught them with the archives of scrubbing Richard's file and sanitizing it, and then promoting him twice, and so many other things came up. It's been multifaceted what all has happened. And just to me, it seems that they thought, wow, we're going to have to stop this key witness because they're pointing to Dallas Hart, they're pointing to James Hart, they're pointing to Leilani Hart, and that Halliday family might get Richard's CPS complaints. And I believe I've been alerted that in those CPS complaints are James Hart's names, is Dallas Hart's name, is Leilani Hart's name, along with Belen Rocha. So, they know that. We don't know. We didn't know that. We've been alerted now to it. And so, they decided that Felix Valenzuela, being the defense attorney that he is, and who knows how much monies he was getting, we would like to know. We haven't opened records for it. Decided to collaborate with the media like this other judge did, right? Judge, well, I should say alleged to do. The judge alleged, but I think there were eyewitnesses and it really happened. So I guess he really did do it. Um, that he collaborated with the media to interfere with our son's case. And we're being alerted to the fact that he is a defense attorney for Leilani Hart, seemingly, apparently, and also for Patrick Crucia's case. So, you know, um, yeah, that's how this is all kind of connected. And they decided then that they had to use the media. And why? My question is, because you have to stay calm in this and you have to say to yourself, okay, why did Angela Kachurga go along with this? Because this took a cold-blooded person, okay? This took a cold-blooded person to go along with this. Or she has a lot to lose. What is she invested in? What is she connected to that she would have a lot to gain or to lose by taking an unreliable source like Leilani Hart, who has an extensive, shocking criminal history and is a convicted criminal and continues to commit all kinds of harassing and um, what is it? Let me look at my notes here. Uh, assault, assault, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Um, why would Angela Kachurga use that type of person that, you know, doesn't even report her friend's child being raped by multiple members of her family in her master bedroom? And she notarizes it. Why would Angela Kachurga put everything that she has at risk, her name, her reputation, her job, and with Bob Moore? Okay, with Bob Moore. I mean, Bob Moore has to have something to lose, something to gain, uh, for him to risk his El Paso matters. And that is what we've been, investigating, because we feel like that would be a connection. And we have found out, and we feel like there is a connection. And it's We're not at liberty to say at this time, but I can tell you this. Dallas Hart was learning how to fly. Okay? Dallas Hart was learning how to fly and is learning how to fly. And so I just think that that is, um, in the CPS complaints, they had to have someone in the CPS, the name that was given to us, because of her relationship with Thomas Kane was Claudia Guerra, and of course, Ann Ogle, the administrator for CYS. I mean, all of this is connected, y'all. And, they were making money every way they could. And it was a criminal, and it is a criminal um, enterprise, and multifaceted criminal enterprise is the best way that I can describe it. And Angela Kachurga, with Bob Moore's El Paso Matters, um, put forth a narrative that would skew the truth to the public about this case. And if he's doing it to this case, he's doing it to other cases. He's doing it to other stories, that he can control the thoughts and the opinions of the people because they don't have the whole story. And, he's committing that sin. Thou shalt not commit false witness, right? Thou shalt not commit false witness. And that's exactly what he's doing. And he even can take a little bit of the truth, but by skewing it, by leaving out essential information, it changes the whole story. And, so you have Danae giving a false witness. You have uh, Kachurga with Felix Valenzuela, with Bob Moore, um, you know, skewing the the whole narrative for Richard. And we contacted Angela Kachurga, and despite us explaining, and I would even say I felt like I was pleading with her, I was begging her really to help her understand what her story did, the interference of her story, and what that caused in our son's case. The interference that caused in our son's case, and the obstruction of justice that caused in our son's case. And I don't even think I totally understood the weight of it, because I did not know about 3905 Bliss Avenue. I did not know about the mortuary affairs being involved in this, and William Beaumont Army Medical Center, and Eddie Rocha and Lydia Rocha, and their history and funeral um, business, and mortuary affairs and all of that. So I didn't understand even then the level of interference in our son's case, but I did know that it was interfering, and blocking us from getting information, right? Was another severe retaliation against a key witness that could get us, by hurting him, it could stop him from getting information. And it's kind of like Yvonne Rosales. Is that what they did to Yvonne Rosales? To stop her from getting very important information and establishing justice, right? Getting justice in the Patrick Crucius case and in Richard Halliday's case. And I think with this reinvestigation, we might be able to find out. We might. But, we looked up what legally did Bob Moore and Felix Valenzuela, of course, but Angela Kachurga and Bob Moore, what did they do really? And they committed intentional malice. That's what they did. And and I'm absolutely, when I read that intentional malice, I was like, oh yeah, because I talked to her and she did not care enough to change her story. She did not care, y'all. And she was not going to change her story no matter how much I asked her to or begged her to, and how much proof that we had that she was using an unreliable source. And we have given now tons of proof, even to the general, that Leilani is an unreliable source. And when she's arrested, because her time is up, tick tick tick, um, her lies are all catching up to her, and I'm curious to see if El Paso Matters and KTEP with Angela Kachurga, um, and also Bob, well, that's Bob Moore as the owner, if they will clarify in a story. Um, but we already have a complaint. It's terrible that we have to be put through this. So, yeah, I think that is huge, huge news. And I hope that I have clarified some of the things that we've been doing behind the scenes. And there's a lot more going on because of working with Attorney General Ken Paxton. Of course, trying to get information from District Attorney um, Bill Hicks, and on and on and on. And we are getting some institutional support, but I do want to tell you that our generals, um, are dirty. They're just dirty. And so we are putting forth complaints. I think the first complaint of a general is going to be with the Inspector General of the Army, Lieutenant General Donna Martin. And, and of course, Veltri. So Jessica Veltri, the CID agent, that's supposed to be a special agent, that's supposed to be a senior special agent, forensic expert, but yet since May, she's supposed to be the lead on this case, and she still has not visited the crime scene. Um, so and then she's so confused, she doesn't know if it's an open case or a closed case. And the way she's dealing with this soldier that has requested and a congressional inquiry into many different things, but also including our son's case. Um, the way she's dealing, she's breaking the Constitution, right? I'm just telling you, she's breaking the Constitution. And the command is also, they're under the dirty Sean Bernabe. They're under the dirty, Inspector General Donna Martin. They're under the dirty and do nothing um, Eisenhower, right? That's what they are. And so, with leaders like that, who needs enemies? And, who would want to join the military? Because you cannot be confident that you are going to be able to live up to your oath when you join the military, and that is to defend the Constitution of the United States. Um, they these leaders, uh, they just are breaking their oaths and creating a military that is quite the opposite of defending the Constitution. It's instilling lawlessness. And, so they need to be stripped from their uniforms and their stars. And we need a good retrenching of leadership in our military for our service members' sake, because we don't need more Richard Hallidays, right? That go in and see something, say something, or told to say something, and then they are quickly retaliated against, continuously and severely, until they're arrested, really kidnapped under the guise of being arrested and tortured and brutally murdered and dismembered and dishonored, dishonored in his remains. And this is, yeah, it's just absolutely horrific. Um, and, you can't even get um, Senator Graham to get upset about it. He's our senator, and just callous as anything, really always ready to have our soldiers, our young soldiers, off to war. And yet, uh, the way the military has treated Richard, um, he doesn't care. And so he needs to be replaced too. Absolutely. So, yeah, okay. I will answer some questions now. Oh, yeah, they sealed the case. Yes. So we did get information that Judge Robert Shook, because there's two judges, Judge Penny Hamilton and Judge Robert Shook. Judge Penny Hamilton being the civilian, what we know. And I don't know if one of these three judges, and I should name them again because I think that's really important, because these judges might also have done something with Richard's case, and that is Judge Lewis, Judge Harla, and Judge Madrano. And but our tip was that it was Judge Penny Hamilton on the civilian side, and then Colonel Judge Robert Lee Shook in the JAG. And he's gone. He didn't mean to go. He didn't mean to go. He meant to stay for a long time. I can tell you that. But they made him go. And once we did an open records request with him, off he went. And so, yeah, uh, you know, we wanted to know who gave a warrant for the search of our house, because this is a double case, right? This is a double case. And we've been told that Judge Robert Shook is the one that sealed the case, that Penny Hamilton is the one that put the gag order. I believe that's true. Now, I don't know. I don't know. We have all of these requests in, but that I'm just telling you what allegedly, we've been told. Um, yeah, there seems to be many gag orders. Absolutely. A lot of criminal collusion. Absolutely. There is no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind, because we were told by Thomas Kane that that is exactly what was happening. And that Richard's case was like Vanessa Guillen's case, and they couldn't have another Guillen case. Okay, yeah. So that was, that's how sick they are. Whether they like it or not, whether they want it or not, it's there, and they have to deal with it, and they need to be righteous, and they need to give us the information and give us our son's remains and punish those who did this to Richard. And yet they, because they want to put their hand in the dirt, because they don't want to be held accountable, right? They don't want to have another Guillen case. That's the most ridiculous thing, but that's exactly what they intended to do, is to cover this up, and not only cover it up, but to disgrace Richard even more. It wasn't enough that they disgraced and dishonored his remains, that they disgraced and dishonored him as a whistleblower. That wasn't enough for them. They also had to disgrace and dishonor his name, his reputation with the smear campaign. And, I'm so happy that we debunked all of that. I'm really, um, I praise God that we could debunk all of that. And I was so shocked and I felt so ignorant when, because we had it all along, y'all. We had it, well, I shouldn't say all along, but very early on, November of 2020, we received all of his DUI. And we didn't know what a pretrial diversion is. Um, but the PP McGee JAG officer knew. PP McGee, the SJA for Sean Bernabe, the dirty, dirty 3-star general that's running Fort Cavazos right now, that's running Old Fort Hood. Um, he knew that Richard had been given an agreement for dismissal on July 7th, 2020, registered on July 9th, 2020. And yet they manipulated us and they dishonored Richard. Absolutely. And smeared Richard. Snuffed out. I'm so sorry, Mama. He deserves so much better. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, he did. You're young. You're young and you join the military. That's what they want, right? You're young. You're beautiful. I mean, he was just beautiful, absolutely strong. Um, and when you're a young man full of vim and vigor like that, you need good leadership. And with good leadership and mentors, you can be a real service to your country. And so not only did they dishonor Richard and, of course, our family, but they dishonored the American people. Absolutely. Yeah. Because they're supposed to be defending the Constitution and they're worried that they have another Vanessa Guillen on their hands and they want to hide it. And so instead of defending the Constitution, justice for all, right? Equal justice for all. Well, is Richard not supposed to get justice? They're supposed to defend the Constitution. And they were covering up and dishonoring Richard, trying to turn him into a criminal. And they couldn't get away with it. And in the archives, they had to sanitize his file because of that. Um, Alma, Alma Trejo, Judge Alma Trejo, giving Richard the agreement of dismissal of a setup DUI that they tried to discredit him because of his whistleblowing. They retaliated very swiftly and they retaliated against our key witness. I want to make that really, really clear. And retaliation can evolve into a murder. So they're putting our key witness into uh, into danger, into more retaliation. And I'm just sick, just with leaders like this who needs enemies, right? So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that that is why we put out the petition to protect this active duty soldier, another witness, another key witness in Richard's case, for the congressional inquiry to protect him, because now we've learned our lesson. They come after the key witnesses, they come after the whistleblowers, and they start retaliating against them to ruin them and to hurt them and to even code red them. And so that is why we've asked everyone to shine a light on this soldier, that there is a soldier on Fort Bliss. We don't say his name. We know his name, but we don't say his name. I'm sure his name is out there now. It's not a secret. Um, that has requested a congressional inquiry. And through Vanessa, with Veronica Escobar, Do Nothing Veronica Escobar, she's kind of like, I think she might be the sister of General Eisenhower. I mean, she's not, but she could be, because she's a do nothing. What is she doing? Where is she? And so, and I did hear that this inquiry is going forward. So maybe that's what she's doing, right? Is getting this inquiry forward. So let's hope so. Let's even write Veronica Escobar. Matter of fact, I haven't written her in a while. Let's write her to protect this soldier, to honor this soldier, and to get his inquiry up in front of Congress so that we can get to the bottom of this case and get accountability. So that's really important. Thank you so much. And if you've signed the petition, thank you very much, but don't stop there. Don't stop there at all. We need to get others to sign the petition as well. And so I haven't looked at it today, but I hope that there are more signatures there. The last time I looked, there was over 320 signatures, and I would like to get to 2,000, really. So thank you so much, just to protect him. That's all that that petition is for, is to say, yes, he has a right as a soldier to inquire to Congress about the security of Fort Bliss and Richard's case and young people being, you know, pimped out living in the barracks, and the JAG not respecting when you have fraud, waste, and abuse complaints, you know. And there's another one there too I'm missing. So, but that is why he has absolutely the right to ask those questions. And we know that there is a security issue on Fort Bliss, and that there is a criminal issue on Fort Bliss. So thank you so much. Yes, full of life. I got out in 2013. I can't even imagine how your husband feels. Um, yeah, he is. I mean, we're past the unbelief stage, even though this last week it was an unbelief stage. I mean, we think that we have heard it all and that we're past the unbelief stage, and then something like this happens and it gives you shivers when you're thinking that they might possibly have a setup, criminal setup there to dishonor remains and sell body parts. It's, you know, and if they did that to Richard, it's just beyond evil, just beyond evil. And so having that kind of information this week was, terrible. And for my husband, a 30-year veteran, 30 years he gave to the Army as service. And when I say service, his record is impeccable service to our country, to defending the Constitution. And, so he is heartbroken by the leadership, um, really, these generals. I don't know who appointed these generals in these Senate Arms Committees and Congressional Arms Committee, all that stuff. I don't know, but with leaders like this, who needs enemies? That's all I have to say. It's been a setup job, and it has put our service members in harm's way unnecessarily on their homeland, and we have, because of their very very bad leadership, um, we have just only failed programs, failed suicide program, failed rape program, failed harassment program, failed wars, failed. That's all they have given us. And I think that is intentional. I really do. Because I don't think they're stupid. I just think they're evil. So, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for supporting Richard. And, you know, and this is gets emotional up and down. And then, even though I'm not allowed to, I try to keep it suppressed as much as I can. But thank you for putting up with those emotions when they do come out. And we love you, and we're just very grateful. We couldn't do this without you. Couldn't do it without you. You are absolutely crucial in getting justice for Richard. So thank you so much. And that is amazing breaking news today. So I will be back tomorrow, God willing. Bye bye, everyone.